ألإكسفوورد في اللغة الإنجليزية. الصف الأول ثانوي. موديل 4 Earth Resources. Unit 5 Sources of Energy. Student book. Before you begin, 1. Look at the pictures of different energy sources. Do you know what they are called? A. Solar panels. B. Wind turbines. D. Nuclear power station. 2. Read the words in the book, which refer to energy from the sun and which refer to energy from the wind. Check the meaning of any words you don't know in the activity book, glossary, or a dictionary. Sun, solar, panels, heat, cell, sunlight. Wind, wind farms, turbines, windy generator. 3. Three students have researched renewable energy source. Read and listen to the conversation. Complete the text with the words in the box. Renewable energy resources. Teacher, our project today is to find out about renewable energy resources. That means resources which are continually replaced and will not run out anytime soon. Ramsey, what have you chosen as an example of renewable resource? Ramsey, the sun is a renewable source of energy. A lot of living things depend on its energy for heat and light. This energy can also be captured and used to power things. For example, if you have a solar calculator, it contains a solar cell which uses sunlight to power the calculator. Solar panels that are used on houses have thousands of solar cells, and they make electricity from the sun's heat. The major advantage of solar energy is that after the solar panels have been installed, electricity is not expensive to generate. Teacher, what about you, Nadia? What did you find out? Nadia, in windy places, wind energy can be used to make electricity using wind turbines. These turbines are found in wind farms. They have blades that are attached to a generator at the center. The wind spins the blades and the generator runs. This makes electricity. However, wind turbines cannot work if there is no wind, and sometimes the wind speed is so high it damages them. Teacher, Ibrahim, what's your example of renewable resource? Ibrahim, it's biomes. Biomes is plant material and animal waste that is used as fuel. For example, wood is a biomes fuel as long as we continue to plant new trees to replace those we cut down. Biomes can be used to provide heat and to make electricity. The biomes is burned to heat water and make steam. The steam is then used to make electricity. 4. Read and listen to the conversation again and answer the questions. 1. What the underlined words refer to? Our line 1, the teacher and the students. It's line 7, the sun's day. Line 21, turbines, those. Line 33, trees. 2. Which is the only form of renewable energy that is a fuel? Biomes is the only renewable energy that is a fuel. 3. What disadvantage do the three energy sources have? Complete the following table. Solar disadvantage, expensive. Wind disadvantage, 1. Do not work if no wind. 2. Danger if too much wind. Biomes disadvantage, trees must be planted to replace the used for biomes. 4. In what other situation would biomes fuel not be renewable? Explain your answer. If it was energy and the trees cut down are not replaced. 5. Which of the energy source is exercise 3 do you think is the best for producing electricity? Justify your answer. I think it depends on the country you live in. For example, in Jordan there is a lot of sun, so the sun is the best source for producing electricity. 6. Wind turbines are expensive to build and maintain, although the electricity they generate does not cost much at all. Is wind power a good source of renewable energy? In my opinion, you should find out if there is enough electricity produced by the wind to make up for the high cost of building the turbines. 5. In the text on page 44 we have 3 words that have the same sound. Listen to these words in the box and identify the sound. What other letter combination make this same sound? Our, out, about, power, however. Grammar. Reported speech and direct speech. الكلام المنقول الغير مباشر والمباشر. الكلام الغير مباشر هو نقل كلام شخص آخر وينقله المتحدث، وغالبا ما يبدأ ب he, she, they, said that. قواعد تحويل المباشر لغير المباشر. تحول جملة المضارع البسيط إلى ماضي بسيط. I read a book about animals. أنا أقرأ كتاب عن الحيوانات. He said that he read a book about animals. هو قال أنه قرأ كتاب عن الحيوان. تحول جملة المضارع المستمر إلى ماضي مستمر في الكلام الغير مباشر. I am reading a book about animals. أنا أقرأ كتاب عن الحيوان. She said that she was reading a book about animals. هي قالت أنها كانت تقرأ كتاب عن الحيوان. تحول جملة الماضي البسيط إلى ماضي تام في الكلام الغير مباشر. I read a book about animals. قرأت كتاب عن الحيوان. He said that he read a book about animals. هو قال أنه قرأ كتاب عن الحيوان. تحول جملة المضارع التام إلى ماضي تام في الكلام الغير مباشر. I have read a book about animals. قرأت كتاب عن الحيوان. He said that he had read a book about animals. هو قال أنه قرأ كتاب عن الحيوان. Direct and indirect speech. يوجد طريقتين لكي نذكر أو ننقل ما يقوله شخص. أولا كلام مباشر direct speech. He said I am going home. هو يقول إن أنا ذاهب إلى البيت. ثانيا كلام غير مباشر indirect speech. He says he is going home. هو يقول إنه ذاهب إلى البيت. He said he was going home. هو قال إنه ذاهب إلى المنزل. الكلام المباشر يذكر نص الكلمات الفعلية التي يقولها المتكلم، ولكن نضعها بين علامتي تنصيص. الأفعال say tell تنقل أخبار وأفكار، جملة خبرية. الفعل say لا يتبعه مفعول مباشر عندما يستخدم كفعل ناقل لخبر، ولكن الفعل tell يجب أن يتبعه مفعول مباشر. Peter says that there's game this evening. بيتر يقول أنه يوجد مباراة هذا المساء. Jan told me that it's begin at 8 o'clock. جان أخبرتني أنها ستبدأ الساعة 8. أولا الجملة الخبرية نقل خبر في المضارع. عندما يكون فعل القول say tell في المضارع لا يتغير زمن الفعل في الكلام المباشر عند تحويله إلى غير مباشر، ولكن تتغير الضمائر والصفات والظروف. 1. Direct. She says I haven't done my homework. المباشر هي قالت أنا لم أعمل بواجباتي. Indirect. She says that she hasn't done her homework. الغير مباشر هي قالت أنها لم تعمل واجباتها. لاحظ استخدام ذات بعد فعل قول say. حذف علامات التنصيص، تحويل إلى she وتحويل my إلى her، تحويل haven't إلى hasn't لأن she مفرد. ضمير الفعل يعامل معاملة ضمائر الجمع. 2. Direct. I can't stand classical music. Mary tells me. مباشر أنا لا أستطيع مقاومة الموسيقى الكلاسيكية. ماري تقول لي. Indirect. Mary tells me that she can't stand classical music. الغير مباشر ماري أخبرتني أنها لا تستطيع مقاومة الموسيقى الكلاسيكية. لاحظ تحويل I إلى she. نقل خبر في الماضي. عندما يكون فعل القول في الماضي told said يتغير زمن الفعل في الكلام المباشر من المضارع إلى الماضي عند تحويله إلى غير مباشر كما يلي will would shall should can could must had to. وكذلك نحول المضارع البسيط إلى ماضي بسيط، المضارع المستمر إلى ماضي مستمر، الماضي المستمر إلى ماضي تام مستمر، الماضي التام إلى ماضي تام، الماضي البسيط إلى ماضي تام، بالإضافة إلى تغيير الأزمنة. هناك كلمات أخرى تحتاج تغييرها عند التحويل من الكلام المباشر إلى الكلام الغير مباشر. tomorrow the next day here there this morning that morning tonight that night next Tuesday on Tuesday the following Tuesday last Tuesday the previous Tuesday last the previous yesterday the day before this that today that day ago before or previously the day after tomorrow in 2 days time. بعض الأفعال لا تتغير عند التحويل من مباشر إلى غير مباشر would should could might ought to 1. Direct I will talk to Mr. Jones he said. المباشر أنا سوف أتحدث مع مستر جون هو قال. Indirect he said that he had talked to Mr. John. الغير مباشر هو قال أنه تحدث مع مستر جون. 2. Direct I haven't seen anybody she said. المباشر أنا لم أرى شخص هي قالت. Indirect she said that she hadn't seen anybody. الغير مباشر هي قالت أنها لم ترى أي شخص. لاحظ تحويل المضارع التام المنفي haven't seen إلى ماضي تام منفي hadn't seen، ولاحظ تحويل I إلى she. Six. Dr. Peter Green, an expert in renewable energy source, talks about how waste can be reused to produce energy. Summaries his report beginning. Dr. Green said that direct speech. In New Jersey, United States of America, there has been a problem with growing rubbish dumps for almost a century. The issues became so great on one island in the area that there was more space taken up by waste than living space. The island was finally called a tax zone, and people were told to leave the island. For a while the dumps grew and grew, until a group of scientists visited the island because they had decided to convert this waste into fuel. After this, experts in the field have worked hard to create a cleaner, greener New Jersey, and these days rubbish dumps are carefully separated into reusable and unusable waste. The forward-thinking state set a good example, and now not only the rest of the United States of America, but also some other countries such as Russia and China are following New Jersey lead. Reported speech. منقول. Dr. Green said that there had been a problem with the growing rubbish dumps in New Jersey, United States of America, for almost of a century. He said that the island had been called a tax zone, and that people had been told to leave the island. He also said that the scientists had decided to convert this waste into fuel. He told us that other countries were following the lead of New Jersey to become cleaner and greener countries. 7. Work in groups of 3. Students says a sentence about renewable energy source. Student B reports it to student C using reported speech. Then start again with student C. Rotate rules. A. Sun energy can be captured and used to power things. B. He or she said that sun energy could be captured and used to power things. C. C. Wind energy can be used to make electricity. A. He or she said that wind energy could be used to make electricity. B. Nuclear power can be very dangerous. C. He or she said that nuclear power could be very dangerous. A. Write a 4-paragraph essay about one renewable energy source using the information you have learned in this lesson. Write about the advantages and disadvantages of the energy source. Do some research on the internet on experts speaking about this energy source and include their opinion in your essay using reported speech. Advantage and disadvantage of solar power. Experts say that there are many advantages worth considering when it comes to solar energy and everything that it offers. There are many advantages that solar energy has over oil energy. They also say that solar energy is a completely renewable resource. Solar cells make absolutely no noise at all. Very little maintenance is required to keep solar cell running. Furthermore, solar energy creates absolutely no pollution. On the other hand, some days you may still need to rely on oil to power your home. Solar power cannot be irrelevant during a storm and a cloudy day or at night. This limits how much power can be saved for future days. The solar cells and solar panels that are needed to harness solar energy tend to be very expensive when you first purchase them. 1. What do you think a nuclear physics does? A nuclear physics work with an engineer to produce new forms of equipment. They also measure amount of radiation and they might also teach students at university. 2. Read these extracts from an interview with a nuclear physicist. What do you think the questions are? Work with a partner and write your ideas. What exactly do you do? 1. I mostly work with a nuclear engineer to produce new form of equipment. Can you describe a typical day at your work? 2. There isn't really every typical day. Are there any other kinds of work that you do? 3. I also do practical hands-on work like testing the safety of the radioactive level in different locations. How did you become a nuclear physicist? 4. I got a degree in physics and then became a research assistant. After that, I worked on a PhD at taught university student. Have you got any advice for young people who want to follow your career path? 5. I recommended that you get to some kind of work experience in laboratory. 3. Read the interview with Sana, a nuclear physicist, and check your answer to exercise 1 and 2. Does Sana mention any of the points that you made in exercise 1? Yes, she does. Sana interviewer, good afternoon and welcome to your career in science. In the studios today we have Sana, a nuclear physicist who is going to tell us about her job. Welcome, Sana. How are you today? Sana, hi, I am fine, thanks. It's good to be on the show. Interviewer, I am sure we would all like to know about your job. What exactly do you do? Sana, I mostly work with nuclear engineers to produce new forms of equipment. It's hard work, but I enjoy the intellectual challenge. Interviewer, can you describe a typical day at your work? Sana, well, there isn't really ever a typical day. Sometimes I work a normal 9 to 5 day, but I might have to travel from one end of the country to the other to get to where I am needed. Sometimes I have to work at night to complete my experiments. and in other times I have to write a report very quickly. I have to work very long hours from time to time. Interviewer: are there any other kinds of work that you do? Sana: I used to teach physics at university, so I spent a lot of time with students. I really enjoyed teaching, but now I don't. I do a lot more research. I also do a practical hands-on work like testing the safety on the radioactive level in different locations. Interviewer: how did you become a nuclear physics? Sana: well, I always wanted to work in science. I studied science subjects at school and really enjoyed them. When I left school, I got a degree in physics and then became a research assistant. After that, I worked on a PhD at Taught University student before getting this job. Interviewer: have you got any advice for young people who want to follow your career path? Sana: I recommend that you get some kind of work experience in a laboratory to see if you enjoy the type of work and also to see if it suits you. Although my job is very stressful, I find it exciting and I enjoy it every day. 1. What does Sana's job not currently involve? 2. How did Sana get the necessary education to become a nuclear physicist? She studied science at school and university and then taught it. 3. What negative thing does Sana say about her job? It is difficult to relax if you are a nuclear physicist. 5. Match the words below with their synonyms or with words that have a close meaning. Challenge: assistant, inverter, particle, laboratory, test, helper, engineer, hands-on, workshop. 1. I like to myself, so I try to run further every day. I myself on my vocabulary often so that I don't forget it. 2. The boss prepared all the papers for the meeting. There were many at the festival, and they were all working voluntarily. 3. The of the telephone in Alexander Graham Bell. The type of that design houses is called an artist. 4. I prefer work because I am a person. 5. A scientist uses his to do experiments. My father fixes things in his. 6. Work in groups of 4. Your teacher will assign you group a type of energy source to research. You are going to explain to the class why your school should change to this kind of power. Make notes about how the energy is produced, the advantage and the disadvantage. Solar energy is produced from the sun rays. Producing solar energy makes no noise and no pollution and requires very little maintenance. In winter, sunlight is not available all time. 7. You are going to have a debate. Organize your notes so you can make a presentation shared among all 4 members of the group. Afterwards, have a class decision and then vote for the best source of energy for your school. 1. Work in pairs and discuss what you can see in the photographs. A. Oil and gas plant. B. Oil shale. C. Nuclear power plant. 2. Listen to a professor talk about different types of non-renewable energy in Jordan. Which types of energy is or are not used at the moment in Jordan but will be very important in Jordan's future. shale oil and nuclear energy. 3. Listen again and complete the notes. You will need to write a phrase or a few words in each gap. Shale oil and nuclear energy. Jordan depends a lot on sources. 90 foreign energy, 6% of the country's energy comes from oil and natural gas imported from neighboring Arab countries. Because of this depends on other countries, Jordan has invested in research projects to identify alternative sources of energy. As the amount imported natural gas is used to fulfill the country's energy needs and to generate electricity. However, a recent discovery of natural gas in Jordan means that in the future less natural gas will need to be imported. Shale rock has also been found in Jordan, most notably in the west central area. Shale oil can be produced from this type of sedimentary rock. It is suitable for a crude oil, but the extraction process for shale oil is more expensive. The process is also quite dangerous and produces a lot of waste product. At the moment, no shale oil industry exists in Jordan, but several companies are considering using it to generate thermal power. Nuclear power holds hope for Jordan's future energy supply. Plans are in place to construct two nuclear reactors, which will double the country's electricity generate capacity. Jordan plans to get 60% of its energy needs from nuclear energy by 2035 CE. 4. Which of the words in the box below refer to the following energy source A to C? A. Natural gas, imported, defense investments. B. Shale oil, expensive, liquid, thermal, substitute, investment. C. Nuclear power, react, hope, investment. 5. With a partner choose one non-renewable energy source from exercise 4 and verify. Explain why you think it is the best one for the future of Jordan. Natural gases are the best energy source for the future of Jordan because they are cheap, independent, and less dangerous. 6. Look at the photograph on the right. What concept does it suggest? Complete the following chart according in your notebook. Then extend this diagram and include examples of each concept. 7. Read the text below. What does it describe? It describes the process of how crude oil is formed underground over many years. Crude oil is essentially the most important source of energy in the world. It is a fossil fuel which is formed over many years by the decomposition of organized compounds or anything that contains these organized element. Carbon material come from the remains of animals and plants. When sediment and other organic material are buried deep under the ground under high temperature and pressure, crude oil is formed. It then undergoes many different processes before it is ready to be used as energy, and from it we get petrol, diesel, and kerosene, among other fuels. However, due to the time taken to form new supplies of crude oil, it is considered to be a finite, non-renewable source of energy. 8. Find the words from 1 to 4 in the text and match them with their definition. A to D. 1. Decomposition. 2. organic. 3. Sediment. 4. Finite. A. Matter that settle to the bottom of a liquid. B. The process of decline. C. Limited in size or supply. D. Something that came from living matter. 9. The text in exercise 7 states that crude oil is essentially the most important source of energy in the world. Do some research, make notes, and write a short report to explain this statement in the 3 paragraphs divided as follows. Paragraph 1, topic sentence. Paragraph 2, supporting paragraph. Paragraph 3, concluding sentence. Crude oil is very important because it is the only non-renewable energy source we have. Our cars, for example, factories and machines are run by some type of oil energy, so we need to consume it responsibly or our life will be very difficult. Unless we find substitutes, oil will remain our first and final resort.